views and opinions expressed in this program are those of the participants and do not necessarily reflect the views of BronxNet or the program underwriters.
And good morning, everybody, and welcome to Open, the one and only show that opens up the Bronx and the world to you. I'm your host, the Dr. Bob Lee from 107.5 WBLS, your number one source for R&B. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for checking it out. Michael Jackson, big celebration, big weekend. And today is his birthday. He would have been 58. We did a big thing in Brooklyn with Spike Lee. And we should have some pictures, well, it should be up on the web and all that stuff. Coming up on today's show, it's World Breastfeeding Month and World Breastfeeding Awareness Month. And we'll learn that what Montefiore Medical Center is doing to help empower women everywhere. Plus, we'll preview a workshop filled with opportunities and education for, it's for you to use in your small business. We'll let you know more. Then fall is approaching. Seems like it's right around the corner, right? Which means back to school. Well, we'll take a look at a boot camp to help build your study skills and excel. And later on, we'll sit down with a man working to spread optimistic values everywhere around the world. So stay tuned. We're open. Check it out. Hello, everybody. I'm your host, Dr. Bob Lee, and you're watching Open. It's the only live interactive program that brings the Bronx and New York City straight to your TV set. We're going to encourage you to stay connected to us. You can tweet us at BronxNet TV or follow us on Facebook at Open BronxNet Television. Now, leading off the show, it's Breastfeeding Awareness Month, and Montefiore Medical Center has a number of services and programs they provide to women. Joining us with the details and information, we have lactation coordinators, Paula Ferrante and America Trevino. Lactation coordinators, please explain.
Well, we help mothers to reach their goals of how they want to feed their babies through education and actually hands-on if they need any help.
We also have a program. We're in a collaborative with the Department of Health because we're going for the baby-friendly designation. And we also do education to the nurses. They have a 15-hour didactic and a 5-hour competency to make sure that they're up to the education that they need to help the moms when they're in the hospital with us.
I did a big thing on radio. It was called lactose intolerance, or lactase deficiency. But this is different because this is from the mother to the baby instead of from a cow to a baby.
Exactly.
It's DNA. It's
DNA.
Specific for your baby. Just like in the animal kingdom, it's specific. The same with mothers and babies.
And this is also great for medicinal purposes.
That's right. It's has all of the antibodies that baby needs to be protected against infections. So it really helps the babies to grow and be the best that they can be from the very beginning.
It's also very important for NICU babies because the neonatal intensive care unit where we have preemies, and it's actually considered a medicine for their baby because it helps them to protect them from infection, especially this necrotizing enterocolitis, which is a really devastating infection in their colon. So it will definitely line it so that bacteria can't get through.
Why is breastfeeding awareness so important?
I think that formula has been the norm for a lot of years. So we're trying to get back to nature by giving the patients the education on the benefits and how to do it, how to manage it once the baby's born, what they can expect, what they should be asking for in the hospital. So that hopefully they'll be able to have a good experience for themselves and for their babies.
A lot of the times it's education with the parent because moms are not aware of the properties of breast milk and what it can do for their baby. So when they're educated and they understand that, they sort of want to do it. And then they realize it's a lot easier than formula, that's for sure.
Yeah, like you said before, it helps to combat all the elements after you're born.
That's right.
All the
that's
things
right.
that come, you get the colds and all that stuff, but it helps to combat it.
And if we have moms that have come back the second time around and they've breastfed the first time, they'll tell us their baby never got sick.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there's the proof right there.
There's the proof. So what is Montefiore doing right now for like outreach, letting people know?
We just did a Bronx Zoo. We went to the Bronx Zoo and we had an informational table there. We work with our WIC centers. We have several WIC centers in the Bronx, and they do classes. America does classes prenatally for moms so that they know exactly what's happening. And moms can always call us when they go home if they're having a problem. We also give them tools when they go home and numbers and things of people that they can call.
No, there are parents that say, I don't know if I want to go through, the breastfeeding thing. I have to get a pump when I'm not there. I have to go to work, and all the running around in New York City. What do you tell a mom?
It's really their goal of how long they want to breastfeed the baby. Because of Obamacare and the Affordable Health Care Act, a lot of the medical insurances do cover electric breast pumps, so at least they don't have to worry about buying an electric breast pump because it could be expensive for a good quality one. So we let them know that it is possible. There are some things that they can do to make it work for them. We give them different scenarios. We educate them. We give them support. Because again, it's their goal. We help them to meet their goal.
What do you tell people who are sort of kind of frazzled
On the fence, so to speak.
well, with the fact that, sometimes somebody can just breastfeed on a bus or on a subway, and some people say, I don't want to see that. What do you tell them? I mean, it's human nature. It's
Right. We tell them, first of
natural.
all, there's a New York State breastfeeding law. They have the Bill of Rights. They can breastfeed any place they
Anywhere.
want. Right. And they have to be comfortable. So we show them ways that if they have to do it in public, they can do it discreetly.
Yeah. Is it a harness or a cover or something?
Yeah, they have these covers that
it-
they put right over them or just put a blanket over them. Moms are really good at finding ways. Right?
But like Paula was saying, it's a New York State law that wherever a mom and a baby are allowed to be, they can breastfeed in public. It's, I guess, not the norm yet, where other people might look in, like you were saying, and be a little bit uncomfortable. We're trying to, maybe in this generation sometime we'll see that breastfeeding will become more of the norm, and then people won't be so surprised when they see it. I think that once people understand the benefits to the baby, you wouldn't ask a person that's going to a restaurant to cover up to eat. You know what I mean? So,
Right.
but I think that we're not there yet. So it's all education and support, and maybe at some point it'll become the norm.
And the Bill of Rights allows them, employers have to give them time to pump when they're at work.
That's right. Okay. So what's the main message that you want to communicate to moms and young women planning, or young families planning on breastfeeding or starting a family?
I'd say get education about breastfeeding. Find out why it's important for them, for themselves and for their babies. Dads too should get involved.
Yes.
And the more support you have, then hopefully it will be a little bit easier for you.
Get the understanding of what it's all about. Yeah.
Right.
So-
And we want them to know that they can do it, that it's a goal that is attainable, and there's a lot of help out there. You know, we want them to know that whatever hospital they go to, they're going to get the support that they need to have the best experience possible. Because
And fathers, you can
Absolutely.
breastfeed also. Yeah, you get the bottle and you feed the baby.
right here on them, skin to skin.
Yes. How important is that?
That's right. It's
To
so
have the
important
baby
for the
right there.
dads to get involved too. That's right.
Dads can
And
do other things. I mean, we tell moms, your job is to breastfeed. Dads can do the bath, change the diapers. If there's other children, help out with the other children. We actually have a little handout that we give dads.
Some
on-
dads run the other way when it's time to change it.
I know, true.
Absolutely.
And then if daddy's giving the baby a bottle, let it be a bottle with mommy's breast milk in it.
Yeah, there you go. All right. Where can we go for more information?
You can call us at Montefiore. You can go to your WIC center. A lot of our moms go to the WIC centers, and all the WIC centers are on board with breastfeeding right now.
La Leche League is
La
also
Leche.
a really good resource.
Leche, the milk.
Yes, yes, absolutely.
All right, lactation consultants. Give them a big round of applause, everybody. America Trevino and Paula Di Ferrante.
Thank you.
We love you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you so
Thank
much.
you. Thank you.
All right, we got to take a quick break right here, but up next, we'll look at an effort to elevate and empower small business next.
A number of A-list celebrities hit the South Bronx to celebrate a contemporary art extravaganza called No Commission, presented by iconic rapper and super producer Swiss Beats and Bacardi.
Being from the Bronx and wanting to bring a positive energy here, you know, over 100 million people are focused on the Bronx as we speak right now. And being that I grew up in St. Mary's Projects, a couple of blocks, about 10 blocks from here, to be able to put something on for the people, just an honor, you know. I hope that people gain a global state of mind, which is the reason why I don't only have Bronx artists in the show. I have Bronx artists, Brooklyn artists, artists from Nigeria, artists from China. We got to think global. The world is activating on a global basis.
We are always looking to create culture or co-create culture with individuals, right? Swiss has been creating culture for years, through for so many different generations of individuals, right? So when you're looking to create culture in an authentic way and really like connect with your consumers in an authentic way, why wouldn't you go to someone that's been doing this for years, right?
No Commission is a platform designed to specifically support the artists. Each artist are given their exhibition space for free, and they keep 100% of the sale of each artwork. The event featured a powerful selection of work from both established and emerging artists from all over.
Just in a time where there's so much like bad blood between races and just so much like tyranny in a sense, I wanted to literally just kind of put it in people's face, but not make it too abrupt to where it was like disturbing. But it gives like a cartoonized version of what's really going on, so that it's not it's a little subtle more than being like so like in your face.
My art today, it's actually to explain that the art is a rebirth and it's a healing process. So through the art, you can help others. To the art, you can inspire people. To the art, you can change people's lives because they believe it's possible.
I was working on a kind of art that involved working with real fabric cast into the mold of the sculpture. So this is his real hoodie right here, you see? And Bio had the idea that he wanted to give that Bronx X thing, but he's also showing his spray cans, you know? And but we did this as a demo for the kids, and I'm sure Bio really suffered in the process of doing this. It was strenuous, hard work, and I put him through a lot to do it. But he showed so much reserve, patience, and generosity towards me that I really appreciate what he did.
So this is part of a piece of 40 punching bags. This is the 40th one. This is the last one in the series. And the text came in around bag number 30, and eventually I started trying to write my own. So the text on this one is "Know Your Magic, Baby," and it's kind of just a call out to people that you got to know what you're worth, you got to act on what you're worth, and other people are going to come for you and tell you that you're not worth it, and it's up to you. You know, you got to like know your magic, baby. And I think what No Commission offers is a new context for a lot of artists. You know, the art world has a lot of like very finicky places you could fall into, and this is not one that I have in any other place. So I was super excited to be a part of it.
Not only did the art make a statement, but the fashionable crowd definitely made a statement of their own. Enjoying an endless variety of free cocktails from Bacardi, the crowd was entertained from day to night with a free Ferris wheel, music, and live performances by rapper A$AP Rocky and reality star Cardi B. There was also some controversy surrounding the free event, and Swiss wasn't afraid to touch on it.
Bronx shouldn't go against Bronx. You know, and it's a lot of organizations that got problems with each other that's in the Bronx. And that we got to fix that problem first if we want to, excel and have people listen to us. How we going to be fighting to get the message across? Now, I know a lot of people had a problem with this land, but I got this man to agree to not name this the Piano District in 30 minutes. And I also had to fight him to get in this place because it was already locked off. I didn't want to do it at the other place the party was. He pushed this back for like 2 months, and it's gonna cost him like a couple of million that I don't have to pay, but he did it, so I respect him for that. Now all the other issues, I'm not a landlord, I'm not a builder. I bring art, people, culture, and vibes together, and that's what I do.
For 4 days, art, music, and hip hop is being celebrated right here in the Bronx. Not only is today the opening day, but it's the birthday of hip hop. Reporting from the Bronx, I'm Christina Lane for BronxNet.
Every Monday night at 9, we talk to the borough's movers and shakers about the latest in Bronx politics, education, healthcare, arts and culture, and literally any and everything that's important to the people of the Bronx. There's a reason why Bronxites have been turning to Bronx Talk for more than 20 years, because Bronx Talk is about you and me, the people of the Bronx. So we'll see you Monday night at 9.
And welcome back, everybody. Our next guests are the CEO of Workshop and Business Opportunities and the head of the DC office of the Libra, the Libra Group. Libra Group, is that right? All right, and they're joining us today for a look at their work to help Bronx business owners. We have Jill Johnson. I met her a long time ago out there in Newark, New Jersey, I believe it was. And she's still out here functioning, doing her thing. Maurice Owens, and of course the Assemblyman, Michael Blake is in the house, you know, doing a lot of things. He doesn't have his sleeves rolled up right about now, but he always has his sleeves rolled up out there in the community doing some great things. We welcome you guys to the show.
Thanks you.
Thanks for having us.
Now, you have something special that you're working on. Tell us about this organization that you have, Jill.
Workshop and Business Opportunities is an amazing organization that has a 50-year history. This year, in fact, is the 50th anniversary.
You didn't tell me. I met you 50 years ago. You didn't tell me about this. All right, 20 years ago. No,
it's a great organization. I've actually been with the organization since 2011, and I was just drawn to it as soon as I was introduced and saw the curriculum and visited a classroom. It is really just a tremendous experience for entrepreneurs or people who are aspiring to be entrepreneurs who want to get that firm foundation from which to grow and build a successful business.
And Maurice, how did you get involved?
Long story. Started at the White House. Now with the Libra Group, the head of the DC office, 1.5 years now. And I actually took my CEO, George Logothetis, to my neighborhood in the Bronx, which is Lambert Houses. And when he got there, he's seen where I grew up, and he's like, Mo, there's so much social immobility here, and we need to do something. And out of that spurred the Entrepreneur Award with partnerships now in the Bronx with WeBo, and in Miami-Dade County with Miami-Dade County College, the community college there. Yeah. And we're the founding sponsor. And at that moment, it was $500,000 over 10 years, but now we've upped it. And this year, the winners received $125,000 in funding from Libra Group.
Now, Assemblyman, you were also at the White House. Yeah. Give us your background.
Well, you know, this is an incredible effort. This is the demonstration when public, private, and not-for-profit partners all come together in a great way. When you think about how the synergy of first, great things are happening in the Bronx, and us always reminding people of that. I tell people often, you know, I wasn't the first person, I won't be the last one that came from the Bronx to work at the White House, and when they get to meet someone like Mo, they can see, you know what, I didn't even know that the Situation Room was beyond just a TV show. Like there's brothers that are actually working in the Situation Room that grew up in our neighborhood. And so this connection all happened because everything we've been talking about for our 3-2-1 vision of economic development, education, equality for all, We then made the connection with the Libra Group and the Concordia Summit, a remarkable event that they do. We did it in New York, then I was honored to be their legislative representative down in Miami. And then the broader conversation was, well, how do we take this to scale?
Yeah.
You know, they already had the American Entrepreneurship Award in Miami. They made the decision because of Maurice and George and the entire team to be in the Bronx. And they said, okay, we don't want to just provide an award, we want to make this sustainable. And then comes the relationship that with Weibo and Jill Johnson, who has been doing incredible work in helping entrepreneurs. We did a first cohort over at Boricua College. Significant interest and excitement of how do you get access to capital, how do you write a better business plan, how do you grow your business to a different level. So then the partnership was, well, let's not just do this for a few, let's provide 50 scholarships. Let's take it to a bigger scale so that more people in the Bronx can realize if you have a dream, it's our job to help you realize that dream.
Yeah, so this is a wonderful opportunity for people to get involved and find out more about how this business thing works, because some people think, I'm going to just go make some money, but don't know the proper steps necessary to making that money. Jill, you've been involved and you've been a CEO of different things for a while.
Yeah, absolutely. And for a lot of people, it's about a hustle. So they have passion, they have a purpose, they have something that they like to do. But it's a hustle because they haven't figured out how to formalize it and make it a business. And a lot of that is not for lack of desire, but just lack of knowledge.
Yes.
And that's what Weibo is all about. And these 50 scholarships will enable people to really get the formal education, the knowledge that's necessary to make entrepreneurial success possible.
Okay, so let's rewind just a bit. And people watching, how can people get involved and become a part of maybe obtaining a scholarship?
Yeah, so we have a website. It's AmericanAward.com. The application period for 2017 is January. So you start your process. And then in March, we have partnerships where you can go and learn and tweak your application and figure out a way to adjust your business plan to make it more appropriate to be a contender. Mm-hmm. And then in June, we're going to announce the winners. So we have a panel of judges too, and prior to that, a month prior, and then June we announce the winners.
Right, and so people can actually sign up for the workshop and business opportunities. There's still an opportunity for the upcoming cohort, which starts in September. Mm-hmm. So they can sign up, so then they will be prepared for the time frame that you just mentioned.
So you have two great things happening simultaneously, right? Mm-hmm. You have people in the Bronx that can become a part of the cohort for workshop and business opportunity, so they can learn, they can grow to develop their businesses, get their businesses to scale, so that then they can be competitive for the American Entrepreneurship Award. And I have to convey this because sometimes they don't toot their horn in terms of great work that they're doing. Because they saw what was happening in the Bronx and the energy that was happening in the Bronx, the original award was going to be $50,000. Let's gauge it there. Then there was such interest by those that had applied, they decided we're going to have 2 first prizes and an additional prize, and on top of that, provide the scholarships. So the Libra Group has been a blessing in providing those resources and really helping move that needle. And through Weibo, now people can understand some of the basics they may not be thinking about. How do I write a business plan?
Yeah.
How do I understand the necessity of keeping my books together? How do I do marketing? How do I, the assessments that sometimes we don't realize. I equate it often, you can have a great, talented student, but sometimes and more times they just need to be coached along the way. It's the exact same thing in business. And so, you have that natural talent, you just have to be guided in that way. Perfect example, Gin Jan Brothers, an African-based company with Bronx ties that has a ginger-based drink that all they were saying is we just need a little bit more guidance in the steps along the way. They won the award. Yes, and now they can go and tell people, we want you to be part of Weibo, we want you to be part of the American Entrepreneurship Award, we want you to understand these opportunities so that we can continue to grow the Bronx and develop the Bronx the way we need to.
Oh, you do a lot in these areas. I mean, it was a few months back you brought that organization, that TV program here.
Yeah, we had Shark Tank that came.
Tank, yes.
We did the MSNBC event on growing hope.
Yeah.
To me, like Mo, this
gotta
is
give
home
it
for
to
me.
you. We gotta give it to you.
This is my path. I grew up in Crescent and Burnside, and I remember vividly the talk of entrepreneurship would not even be something that would go through many folks' minds. You were just trying to make it. You're just trying to get out.
Right.
And so our responsibility is how to make sure someone has an education and a chance for a job. You give them that, you can transform everything else.
And we have that everything within Weibo.
We do.
We give them the money, and then we
We'll
grab them
give
by
them
the
the
hand and say,
education.
hey, these
Give
are
them
the
the
steps
education.
that
Right.
you
Money
need to
comes over here,
take
that's
to
different.
get you
Right.
where you need to go.
Right, the money will come once you have the education and you understand the business that you're really in. And now what we want to see, though, is people taking advantage of these opportunities, Bob. What can be very disappointing is when the opportunities are there and we don't see people taking advantage of them. Here we have 50 scholarships that have been made available by the Libra Group. We have the Assemblyman who has been working so hard to make opportunity possible and available. Now we want to see the residents out there, really grabbing hold and taking advantage, because we all are here and want to help, and there's so many more organizations here in the Bronx that are all here ready to serve.
All right, so once again, Maurice,
Yes.
we're going to do what? How do we get ready for this?
Well, let's say first,
Yeah.
they should go to the WEBO website.
The WEBO website.
Which is wibo.org. And they should register for our upcoming cohort, simple application. And then they should
go to AmericanAward.com. As a CEO, my CEO, Joe Locatelli, says, Mo is good to do good. So we want people to have.
Looks like a CEO, doesn't
it? You can see the shape
Yeah,
right
yeah.
here. It's happening right here.
I CEO.
I mean, you want to create ladders of opportunity for those who need it. And that's what we're here for. So AmericanAward.com.
So we want people in the Bronx, the 1.4 million people in the Bronx, to realize Weibo.org, American Award. We need you to go to these websites so you can learn about what's going on. We are eliminating the barriers.
Right.
That is the goal. We want people to understand and to sign up and to learn about this support and make more people aware that this is happening right now.
Weebles don't wobble and they don't fall down.
That's right.
Wow.
You're dating us.
Wow.
No, that was a. Anyway.
You out here jamming.
But I'm glad you I'm glad you guys came down. This is very good information. How important is small business, not only in the Bronx but around the world?
I mean, you look at the data that, Minority Business Development Agency says that by 2050, people of color will be the majority in this country. The majority of jobs that are created in this country are through small businesses. But this is also about not just small business, but minority and women-owned businesses and giving them the access that they need. So this is going to help transform the Bronx, and we really believe it's going to transform the country through partnerships with WEBO and the American Entrepreneurship Board. We can do these things.
One thing I'd like to point out is that actually we have data that suggests that participants in WEBO are 30% more likely to still be in business after 5 years. So we know that WEBO works. We need to take advantage of the opportunity.
So you guys have a follow-up plan too. It's not just here, take this and you turn your back.
Now it's about long-term success.
Yes.
And it's also the power of inspiration. That one person inspires 500. That 500 inspires 50,000. So without hope and inspiration, you don't have a vision. So that's what this award is for. It's really to inspire those who never was believed in. So believing in someone is the biggest thing you can do with this award.
And finally, I'm going to jump on something like this. How does the upcoming election support or not support what you're doing?
Look, I think it's just pretty straightforward when you see that you have the opportunity to sustain the momentum of President Obama, who has had close to 60 plus months of job growth in the private sector by investing in businesses, versus what you may be seeing on the other side, where they're talking about trying to kick people out. So I think the reality is, if you care about business, and specifically that the Bronx is now the most diverse county in America, according to the census. There's an 89.7% likelihood that any two people at random you meet in the Bronx will be a different ethnicity. If you care about diversity, you care about entrepreneurship, you care about growth, you have to be a part of these programs and you have to vote.
Hard-working Assemblyman Michael Blake, give him a big round of applause, everybody. CEO Maurice Owens and Jill Scott, CEO
Jill Johnson.
Jill Johnson.
You out here jamming
Where
stuff.
did I get Scott from?
You thinking about music, man. You out here at Afro Punk probably this weekend. That's what's going on right now.
That's it. You're a superstar anyway. Jill Johnson, give her a big round of applause, everybody. CEO, WIBO. All right, give me a number one more time, or an address where we can go for more information.
WIBO.org.
WIBO.org. Boom. All right, we've got to take a quick break right here. Stay tuned. We'll be right back with more Open next. You got to learn your body, pace yourself, and have fun. So let's go have fun. Let's go do it. The tricky thing about shoulders, your shoulders is a 3-tier muscle. You have your front delts, you have your rear delts, and you have your mid delts. So when you're working out your shoulders properly, you have to do 3 different exercises.
It's wonderful being able to compete with a lot of these young guys from all over the world. It's important to stay in shape.
Wow, these are really good.
You act surprised. Practice makes perfect.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. There are thousands of teens in foster care who don't need perfection. They need you.
It's not always easy being a dad.
Do you have panda asthma too? Does that run in the family? This is the home of the most priceless kung fu artifacts.
But when you make an effort,
Dad, we're not supposed to touch anything. Oh, sorry. Go along, son.
it's always worth it.
Whoa, master!
The smallest moments can have the biggest impact on a child's life. Take time to be a dad today.
I am gonna get you. I'm gonna get you.
Call 877-4DAD-411 or visit fatherhood.gov to learn more.
Welcome back. I'm your host, Dr. Bob Lee from 107.5 WBLS. We sat down with wife, businesswoman, and mother, Stephanie Aldo. That's for a look at tips, advice, and to hear her story. Keandra Knight has the story.
A serial entrepreneur who strives to not only succeed in her business, but to help other women to succeed as well. Stephanie Aldo. She covers everything from starting a business to expanding. Wife, mother of 3, U.S. Army veteran, and an entrepreneur. Can a woman really have it all? Stephanie Aldo proves that it is possible. With our sit-down discussion, she explains how.
Like many others, entrepreneurship is birthed out of necessity. And when I had my son, at the time I was in school and I just recently gotten married. And when I had him, I was looking for a job. I had extensive experience through teaching, but I could not find a job that was willing to pay, what I was worth. I saw that I met the qualifications of opening up my own residential daycare. So for me, it was a no-brainer because now I'm able to stay home with my son, do the thing I love, which is teaching, and make 5 times as much as what others were offering. So once I opened up the first residential daycare, I realized that I really love business a lot. I found my passion through opening up my own residential daycare, and from there I ended up doing my after-school program, which I serviced a multitude of children in the Bronx. And with people seeing how well I was doing in business, many people started coming to me asking me for business advice and how can they go about opening their business. And public speaking came about because I just feel like everyone has a story, and your story can inspire somebody else to move on and do the things that they need to do in their life, right? So I love to go and speak to other entrepreneurs, other organizations, other mothers, and let them know it's okay to live your dream. It's okay to go after what you want to go after. I got a lot of exposure through the military, and they have great opportunities for veterans that want to be entrepreneurs. I was exposed to learn from people, CEOs of top Fortune 500 companies, and I was sent to University of Connecticut where I was mentored and trained by these different professionals of entrepreneurs that teach you differently from the colleges. Like you're learning from experienced people that are actually in the field.
So you mentioned that you have done the after-school program and so forth. So what other services have you had to offer? Like what other services you went into?
My main thing right now is business coaching, and I'm developing developing a nonprofit called Champs for Autism, which is in honor of my son. My child is 9 years old. He had his diagnosis of autism from 18 months. And at the time, it was very hard to find services for him, and the services are extremely slow in the Bronx and in New York in general. So myself and another mother got together and decided to start Champs for Autism, where we will be opening up a much needed service. It will offer community habilitation, respite, and also family education for parents with children with autism.
With all the many services and duties that Stephanie Addo have under her belt, she was also forced to deal with her son's unfortunate diagnosis of having autism.
I was exposed to autism at an early age. I had a family member whom he had autism, so I was definitely aware of the disability, but it's one thing to be aware of someone else that has a disability and have your own child that has a disability. I also had professional experience with adults with developmental disabilities. So when I saw my son wasn't developing well, I was the one that referred him. I didn't wait for a doctor or anything to tell me to refer him. I was the one that referred him to be evaluated. Navigating the field is very hard, you know, with listening to one person telling you to do it this way, listening to somebody else telling you to do it that way. As far as fighting back and forth with the city every 5 minutes to get the services, that part is the most challenging one, because you know, for my son, it took him about 6 months to even get into his early intervention school to start getting the services. So that part was very, very hard for us. And the most thing that I can say to other parents is, you know, you have what the therapists say, what the doctors say about your child, but I'm a believer in God, and I believe that God has the final say of all things. So, you know, when my son was diagnosed, they told me that he's nonverbal. They also told us don't push him too much when it comes to education or potty training, right? But God, the way God had it is my son is talking, you know. We worked with him, my husband and I worked with him diligently. He is talking, he can advocate for himself, you know. It's maybe not the best for a 9-year-old, but it's great for him. My number one goal is definitely to get Champs for Autism off the ground. Children with autism have a chance in life, you know. Unfortunately, the New York City public schools do not give them that extra exposure, that valid chance that they really need. They have great abilities, but we as parents, we as professionals have to be able to tap into that.
Stephanie Addo shows us drive and passion, empowers us all. This is Kate Aloy Knight. Join us next time here on Out in the Open.
Thank you, Kadia. We've got to take a quick break right here, but coming up next, we'll preview some back-to-school events you don't want to miss. Stay tuned.
Don't let salmonella get funky with your chicken. On average, 1 in 6 Americans will get a foodborne illness this year. So learn the right temperature to cook each type of meat. Keep your family safe at foodsafety.gov.
We are neighbors and best friends.
I love my sister.
My heart doesn't see race. Love is love.
Our family is no less than any other family.
And welcome back. Hey, you know, throughout September, Esoteric Academic Solutions, they're going to be holding their back-to-school study boot camp, a skilled boot camp. And you go there and you find out what it's all about. Joining us to share what we can expect, we have Nathaniel Hainsworth. We welcome you to the show.
Thanks for having me.
All right.
Our study boot camp is based on helping high school students prepare for the academic challenges of high school. For example, we help students become better students, master students, by helping them be able to study effectively, by helping them with time management, organization skills, and other skills that can help them become master students, as I just mentioned before.
So you have a student that is sort of average, and parents are looking for solutions. Students are looking for solutions too. And then they find a person like you. What do you tell them?
Well, first, I work with students based on their strengths and weaknesses. I developed that through an assessment that I created with a team of mine, and it's very effective in finding students' strengths and weaknesses. Like, for example, say if a student is their weaknesses in math and topics of algebra, we design a program around that weaknesses, yet at the same time building their strength to be more effective in the classroom.
But why is this so important? Because you're dealing with high school students, right, mostly?
Yes.
Yeah. When you reach the 11th grade, colleges are looking at you. You know, they will pay you a whole lot of money through scholarship to come to their school to represent if you are okay academically.
Well, we tend to work with students as early as in the 8th grade. We find that it's very effective that students are prepared effectively using study skill strategies. We also help students with SATs and ACTs to prepare them for that challenges of the 11th grade. But 11th grade is a tough year for most students because it's right around the corner from college admissions, and in order to go to a really great college, like for example, in a university, an Ivy, or a selected university, you need to be prepared earlier.
Yeah.
So our program, the boot camp, gives students that opportunity to be prepared before they get to 11th grade.
There you go. And that's, you know, they look at you in the 11th grade, they look at those grades and decide whether or not they want to give you a scholarship.
That's true.
So if you want some scholarship money, get those grades tight. They got to see a person like you.
Yes, it's our program, the boot camp in September, the second week in September, actually helps. It helps any student prepare effectively. Now, it depends on what type of school and what part of the country they want to go to. We have programs available to help them get there.
Did you have trouble in school? That's why you wanted to start? I don't know. What was the reason why you started something like this?
Well, I was a pretty good student. I went to Brooklyn Tech, and my parents prepared me early. I didn't have that much trouble in middle school and high school because I was a coach, basically.
Yeah.
She put me in programs to help me become more effective as a student. Then by 11th grade, I became what is called a master student. So I excelled in college early on. With the skills
but you found out there was a need. There was a lot of other people who were falling by the wayside that you thought you can help.
Yes. I partner with nonprofits in that process to help students. So we help all students if given an opportunity, yes.
That's good. And when did you start this?
We started our program in 2009. Before that, I was an analyst at the Federal Reserve. So I just saw a need in the community that I thought that can be very effective in helping students prepare for college.
So what are the goals with this program?
The goals is a 10-step program, is 10 lectures. For example, we have one lecture that studied the uniqueness of their intelligence. So we look for what are their learning styles and their ability. And then our final program, which is again 10 lectures, helps students become effective in time management.
I like it. I like it. So any success stories?
Well, we have our latest student who was accepted to the University of California, Berkeley, one of the top public middle schools, colleges in the country. She started our program early in her middle school years. And she went with us year after year, and we've seen a pretty effective rate from that.
Good.
So not just us one student, but in our time with Ben, it's like hundreds of students.
Yeah. So what's coming up that we can all get involved in?
Well, we have other programs within Esoteric Academic Solutions. We have a pretty good track record of getting students to selective high schools, like Bronx Tech, Brooklyn Science, Bronx Tech. And we right now in the process of preparing 8th graders for that test.
All right, there you go. 8th graders, get ready. We're coming at you.
Yes.
And where can we go for more information? And anybody can attend, right?
There's a fee. There's a nominal fee to be able to attend because in order, like for example, for textbooks and things of that nature, but it's a nominal fee. It's not nothing that's non-affordable. It's $199 for 10 lectures.
Let me ask you, with the program that you have, or programs that you have, should students get involved in should they form like a habit, or should they form like a study habit linking up to what you're doing?
We believe becoming a master's student is a habit. It starts early as in the 5th grade. We have helped students in the 5th grade prepare for middle school, eventually off to high school, then college. So we believe, like, for example, it's professional development for students. Like, I always tell my students, like, and parents, that if you're preparing to go on a job, you need some kind of professional development to be able to prepare and be effective in what you do. So we do the same type of strategies for students, giving them those skills and skill sets they need to be successful in high school.
So parents can reach out to you now. Say, I have a child at elementary school, and I'm trying to prepare them to become a master's student.
Yes, they can.
What do they have to do?
What they have to do, they contact our website and also our phone number, 646-481-8216, and we can link them up with a coach, and we can prepare them for the process of how to become an effective student.
All right, final message to the student. Take that camera right there, tell them.
The final message, I hope our school year is about to start in about 2 weeks, and we have a program that's very effective in helping students become successful in middle school and high school. So we want you to be encouraged that there's help and that you can become a master's student.
All right, thank you. Nathaniel Hainsworth, founder and managing director of education. Give him a big round of applause, everybody. They should go where for more information?
You should go to www.e-academicsolutions.com, or you can call 646-481-8216 for more information to talk to one of our academic coaches.
We'll take a break right here. We'll come back with more. Stay tuned.
Thank you.
I'm only 17, but I know about investing. Believe in something, buy shares in it, watch it grow. So, what if you could invest in the future? The future of kids, like a stock. Not the kind of stock that's about making money, but a stock for social change. A whole new kind of investment called Better Futures. When you invest, it helps kids go to college. I could be one of the first college graduates from my family, the first philanthropist from my neighborhood. And if I'm the first, then maybe there's a second and a third. Believe in us, invest in us, watch us grow. My name is Sydney, and I'm your dividend.
They said I have troll teeth.
That my voice sounded like a possessed baby doll.
That no one would ever love someone as stupid as me.
That I was fat, ugly.
Disgusting.
The effect of bullying is potent.
We will no longer be the silent majority.
Now, when you see online bullying, there's something you can do about it.
We're gonna take action with the I.
I am a witness.
I am a witness.
I am a witness.
I am a witness.
I am a witness, and so are you.
Sure, I look cute now, but when my owner lost his job, it was rough. I was living on the street, and one night, me and this Cocker Spaniel got into it so bad, I wound up looking like an ice cream cone. I cried a little bit, but thankfully I got rescued, so I'm running, I'm jumping, all back to my old self, and I'm ready to give unconditional love, even if you put a lampshade on my head.
I wish I was in school. If only I had a math test today. I'll stay after class. I'll clean the chalkboard. I wish I was in school.
School ends, but free lunches for your kids don't have to. Find your local food bank at feedingamerica.org/summer meals for help.
And welcome back, everybody. Our next guest is Mr. United States 2016. Mr. US 2016 is here to share his love. He has a campaign going on. Mr. Avery Wilson is in the house. Give him a big round of applause. Avery Wilson, campaign2016.com.
Glad to be here, man.
Tell us about some of the work that you do and why do they call you Mr. United States 2016?
Absolutely. Well, the Mr. United States organization is a brand new organization for young men across the country who really want to give back to their community. And so pageantry is the outlet. We find guys for teenagers as well as our Mr. Division who really want to do some meaningful service in the communities, but also kind of focus on mentorship to be able to help our younger guys and be a great role model for the country.
How'd you get involved in this?
It was a national pageant. I represented
Because you're from mudbug country, right?
Actually, you know, I'm definitely a
Louisiana
crawfish kind of guy. I love
they call it crawfish down there or mudbugs.
Mudbugs, crawfish. You know, we love the seafood there. It's Louisiana just has a special love, and I tell you, we brought that love to the national pageant right here in New York City, and I was able to come out victorious as the first winner.
So, but you heard that this was happening. You said this is the first of its kind.
Yeah.
And let me get involved. How did it all materialize?
Absolutely. A friend of mine mentioned it, and that it was a new organization. That's something that I could probably, you know, really do some meaningful work with, because I work with young ladies in the Miss America organization, but now this was my chance to kind of be the contestant. So it was a very different idea, but I thought it'd be a great way to really test myself, because pageants do that. They force you to learn a little bit more about who you really are and what you believe in, and like I said, it's just been an amazing journey.
So you got in line, and how did you win?
Wow, I tell you, it's full on pageantry. A lot of people, when they're learning about this organization, they realize that it's everything for men that, you know, you see typically for the women in pageants. It's private interview, it's runway fashion, it's talent, and a culmination of all of those things kind of allowed me to be on top. But I'm very blessed and humbled by the opportunity.
And what does love have to do with it?
Love matters.
It matters.
It matters. That's my platform. We all were tasked to be able to give something back in the community with a platform, and mine is LOVE, living optimistic values every day. I think that it's three-pillared, first and foremost: love for self, love for others, and a love for something greater. And I think people tend to take for granted the power of love, but it's starting small with the things that we do every day, whether that's giving somebody a kind compliment on the train or just kind of finding a way to be a little bit more accepting. And my goal is to really push that message nationally across the country so that we can kind of start to see different behavioral patterns once we start sowing more love.
Now, in the South, that's easier to do. Did you find it more difficult in New York?
Bob, that's so interesting you mentioned that. Just being on the trains here in the city, I'm always reminded that, you know, this is just such a diverse place. And you're right. Down in the South, we have this hospitable thing where we're just, you know, we love on each other all day long. It's just what we do. But I will say, in places like this, that this is where I think the mecca of it really happens, because we learn more from differences. So seeing a little bit different things in terms of people with different experiences, learn behaviors, that's what makes us more accepting as a culture.
Yeah, and I think a lot has to do with the media too. It just portrays, you know, New York as being cold, but you know, you find a lot of nice, warm people here too. You can extend that love right here. Disseminate a whole lot of love throughout the city. It's okay.
Absolutely.
Love matters.
It matters. It matters.
Now, tell us about your pillars. Elevating others through 8 pillars.
So what we do is we take, with my personal brand, this idea of really pushing people through the expansion of their gifts and their talents. And so I use things like lifestyle, pageantry, the arts. I'm also an artist, so I take things like dance and performance arts and really kind of push people to you know, talk about the things that are sometimes uncomfortable for us as a society. That's one of the things that we're really doing with this organization, is allowing ourselves to be beacons of those things that can really create change.
You dance and sing?
I dance and I sing. Yeah.
You wrote a song?
You know what?
Sing a song?
I have some music in my world. I don't really do a whole lot of you know, composing per se, but I definitely love to sing every day.
Well, you know what that means, right? We don't have a Music Monday artist, do we? Helen, do we have a Monday music artist?
That would be amazing.
All right, give me a quick piece right now. Ready?
Sure.
1 or 2. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Love is what we really need.
Love is what we need.
And you can make that into a song.
Yeah. I thought you were going to sing that song.
Oh, you want me to sing it? Oh, okay.
Just a little piece.
Gotcha. Well, I don't know. I'm shy when it comes to really singing.
Good. You got a nice microphone on you.
Okay. Well, what would you like me to sing?
Somebody said, "Bob, leave him alone." I heard them in that room. That's the Wizard of Oz room back there. All right. Do you think the world lacks in optimism?
Yeah, I find that the things that we're dealing with, the isms, I call them, you know, whether it's racism, sexism, classism, those things tend to kind of boggle people down, and they find themselves looking through a linear that's only from that perspective. But again, that's why love is so important, because I find that when you sow something different, you tend to reap something different. So yeah, I definitely think that we as a society have more room to grow in that regards, and there's something about power and hope and belief. It's contagious.
This is election season and a big election year. How does that affect with all this stuff going on?
Yeah.
The mudslinging and everything.
Yeah.
How do you overcome it with love?
That's a good question. Politics is one of those things to where we know that they're imperfect people, but yet we put them on this platform as if they are some state of perfection. And unfortunately, the way the world works is the negative tends to kind of push faster. So it tends to be a lot of the mudslinging and a lot of the bad energy. But the reality is a lot of these candidates, they have gotten to the place that they are because of some of the powerful, loving agents that they've done. And I think that if we start focusing a little bit more on that as opposed to, that which is negative, we'll probably have a different light and opinion and energy.
You ready to
politics.
exercise?
I am.
Your right to vote.
I am. I think especially, as an African-American male, it's very important for me to, be very vocal about why it's important to get out there and express our right.
Finally, what's next for you?
Well, we're getting excited about a national tour for the Mr. United States organization. We're encouraging gentlemen right here in the Bronx who may be interested in becoming the next Mr. New York and possibly the next Mr. United States to get involved with our organization.
What's the age limit? No, go ahead.
No, really. We have a teen division for guys 14 to 18. We have an adult division for guys 19 to 29. But yeah, it's a 6
I guess I'm
tour.
out of that one then. Well, go ahead.
Barely missed it.
I just missed it.
Yeah, no problem.
So what do we have to do?
You can follow us online. Our organization is www.mrunitedstates.org. All of the information for the tour. If indeed you're not able to make it to one of the 6 cities, you can also apply online. And so it's a great opportunity for guys if they're interested in pageantry.
Okay, give them a big round of applause, everybody. Mr. United States 2016.com. Avery D. Wilson, thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right, unfortunately, that's all the time we have for today's show. I'd like to thank our guests for joining us and you, our viewer, for tuning in and checking it all out. If you missed any part of today's show, well, you can tune into the recablecast of Open at 5 and 10 p.m. or watch anytime on the web at BronxNet.org. Or you can catch an all-new episode Wednesday at 10 a.m. with our host, Darren Jaime. I want to thank you. In the Wizard of Oz closet, thank you guys so much. Helen 1 and 2, Thing 1 and Thing 2, and the whole crew on the cameras, all the new guys that just came in. We appreciate you, we love you, and thank you. Always remember this, what you are is God's gift to you, and what you make of yourself is your gift to God. So choose your choice and let your choice control the chooser. I'm the Dr. Bob Lee, and I'll catch you on BLS tonight right after the Quiet Storm over 107.5 WBLS. Love you all. Peace.
From my shelter in 2011. I love Toast because she's a lazy diva. Toast makes me laugh. When I walked into the shelter, I knew she was special.